Boom shakalaka, what is going on everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's episode, we are going to take a look at Bitcoin's last two halvings and see if we can predict what's going to happen in this upcoming Bitcoin halving in 2020. That's right, a Bitcoin 2020 price prediction coming up in this episode. Stay tuned. What's up everybody, Randall here. Today's episode, like I said, we're going to be taking a look at the halving, see what we have upcoming for Bitcoin, because guess what? 3.5 months away, we have a Bitcoin halving up and coming, and I'm pretty excited about it. So this episode is thanks to Emil. He recommended doing it, and I figured, yeah, it's a pretty awesome topic, so let's take a look at things. Now, where are we right now? We are at this yellow line right here, and if you take a look, these grayish blue lines, those are the halving. So we had one back here in 2012, the end of 2012, one in the middle of 2016, and now we have the third Bitcoin halving in May of 2020, middle of May. So we are right now 3.5 months before that, and I'm going to take a look at the second halving and the first halving to see what we can expect based on those previous halvings. So let's go. First, we'll take a look at the first halving. Now this one was back in November of 2012. And basically, one thing that does happen with these halvings is that the price is down from the previous all-time high. The price actually doesn't rise above that previous all-time high until sometime between the halving and 6 months after the halving, as you can see by this white dotted line. Again, here it is in the second halving, right at about 6 months. It passes, and that's probably what we can expect at $20,000 somewhere around November of 2020, if the past will hold true. But if we take a look at the first halving, okay, now where we are compared with the halving we have coming up in May 2020, that would be this yellow line. This is 3.5 months before the first halving, and in that 3.5 months, the price rose 68%. Now it went up a little bit and down a little bit and then up, but overall rose 68% between 3.5 months before and the halving. Now, once that halving happened until 6 months after the halving, there was a huge increase in price. It actually went up 2,147%. Now that is massive, and it doesn't seem that massive just because I have a logarithmic scale right here, but that is absolutely massive from the first halving to 6 months after the first halving. And as you can see, during that 6 months, the price passed the previous all-time high by passing this white dotted line. Now after that, from 6 months to a year post-halving, we had another 769% price increase from this high here all the way up to the high right here. So that's what you can look forward to a year after. And then furthermore, there's this green, which I'll go into a little bit later as to why. So that is from 3.5 months before the halving to a year after the halving. We do have some pretty significant gains. Now let's take a look at the second halving. Okay, this is the second halving here. And let's just turn this auto off and make it so you can see a little bit better. Here we go. So from 3.5 months before, where we are right now before the upcoming halving, to the halving, plus 93%. Pretty awesome, almost doubles in that time. Okay, so the price pretty much goes up all the time and then drops back a little bit right before the halving. Then, from the halving to 6 months after, really small increase. You remember the last one was over 2,000%. This one's only 84%. Still almost doubles, but it's definitely not like the 2,000%. And as we can see, we see a little bit dip after the halving, and then the price comes up towards about 6 months. Then from 6 months to a year, we have 192%. So almost 3x's. And as you can see, it is in a stepwise fashion that it grows. So we have bull run, bear, bull, bear. And eventually we get a sizable gain, definitely not as much as the first halving. It wasn't actually until from a year after to 5 months after that that we actually saw a gigantic price increase. This was where in the second halving, the largest price increase happened. This was a year after the halving. So we saw 561%, almost 6.5% gain, or 6.5x gains from a year after the second halving to a year and 5 months after that second halving, where we had at the current time, the all-time high, $20,000 price point. So where does that leave us for what's coming up in the future? Well, I did a little speculating. Now, some of you guys commented that my my or what do I call it? My data analysis isn't great, and that's right. I just do some fun, easy stuff because I'm not a data scientist, but I learn all the time. So what did I do? I just took the averages. Now, if we have the averages from the first halving and the second halving, from where we are now until the halving, we can expect to see an 81% price increase. That's pretty awesome. So we would almost double where we are now, probably somewhere around $16,000. Now, from the halving, which would be May of 2020, to 6 months after that halving, on average from the first and second halving, we would see a 1,115% gains, which is 12x gains. So that would put Bitcoin in the $200,000 area. All right. Now I know some of you are saying, just hang in there, We'll get to some. We'll address this. Okay. This is just based on averages. Then we take a look from 6 months to a year after, we have 480%. So that would be a little over 5xing it. So over $1 million for a Bitcoin. That would be by May of 2021. That would be very exciting for everybody, myself included. Okay, I would be very excited for that. And then we have the from a year to a year and 5 months, and that would be an additional 245% gains, which would bring us to $4,131,628 per Bitcoin by September 13th of 2021. And that is my price prediction, and I am standing to it. And if it's not that, then John McAfee will eat his own dick on national television. So anyways, I took a look at that, and I was like, yeah, averages seem cool, but that's kind of a little bit ridiculous. Okay, maybe I'm out on a limb here. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that's kind of ridiculous, but maybe you guys think it's kind of ridiculous too. I mean, let me know down in the comments what you think. But I thought that's kind of ridiculous. So let's take a look at a bit, maybe more of a realistic thing of what could happen. So if we zoom back out, instead of taking the average, let's just say, because it seems like, to me, you do you, bro, but it seems like to me that each halving, the gains decrease a little bit. Unfortunately, that's the type of parabola we're on where it decreases. Well, it seems like each one is decreasing a little bit. So instead of taking the average, why not we just take the lowest of each of these gains? So from the 3.5 months before to the halving, 68% and 93%, we would take the 68%. Then to the 6 months after, the 2147 and 84, we would take the 84 because that's lower. Then on the next one, we would take the 192 because that's lower of the two. And then on the last one, we would actually take a -70. So if we did that, might lead to more reasonable price predictions for Bitcoin on the May 2020 halving. It would lead us a year after the halving to a price of $84,711. Definitely reasonable, right around that $100,000 price point a lot of people have been talking about. And then a year and 5 months after, the price would actually drop back down to about $24,413. Again, both of those seem somewhat reasonable based on what we see with Bitcoin because we have a parabolic run-up, a blow-off top, and then the price comes down somewhat 90%. That's kind of what's happened the past 2 times. I wouldn't expect something different to happen the 3rd time. But I could always be wrong. We could have Bitcoin go up to 4 million per Bitcoin, and that would be exceptional. I would be the happiest guy on the planet for like 3 months, and then, they say that when you win a bunch of money, the happiness comes for a little bit and then it goes, and you're worse off than you were before. But for that 3 months, I would be totally happy. And then, but Bitcoin could also go to 0. It's possible. I knew that since getting into Bitcoin. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It could also go to 0. So anyways, thanks, Emil, for recommending that. I hope that was what you were looking for in terms of Bitcoin price predictions, what to look forward to with the upcoming halving based on the previous 2 halvings. If you guys like that episode, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And also, check out the Monarch wallet, hold Bitcoin, 3,000 other cryptocurrencies, and earn 10% interest on there while holding it very securely. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.